The ancient punishment, worse than death. In the ancient world, punishment didn't always mean execution. Sometimes it meant something far more terrifying. It meant being erased from existence. In civilizations like ancient Rome and Egypt, people believed that death was not the end. What truly determined a person's fate was whether they were remembered. Names spoken, faces carved in stone, stories passed down memory was a form of immortality. To be remembered meant to live on. To be forgotten meant something far worse than death. That belief gave rise to one of the most disturbing punishments in human history, damnatio memoriae, the condemnation of memory. When a person was sentenced to this fate, they weren't simply killed. Instead, every trace of their existence was targeted. Statues were smashed or altered. Names were carved out of stone. Paintings were repainted. Coins were melted down. Official records were rewritten. It was as if the person had never existed. This punishment was usually reserved for those considered dangerous, even after death. Traitors, disgraced emperors, political rivals, or rulers whose ideas threatened the established order. In ancient Egypt, this was considered the worst punishment imaginable. Egyptians believed the soul could only survive in the afterlife if the person's name continued to exist in the world of the living. Without a name, the soul would wander, fade, and eventually vanish forever. To erase a name was to destroy the soul itself. One of the most famous examples is Pharaoh Akhenaten. Akhenaten attempted to completely change Egyptian religion by abandoning the traditional gods and worshipping a single deity. During his reign, this radical shift reshaped temples, art, and politics. But after his death, the old order returned, and they wanted revenge. His statues were destroyed, his temples dismantled, his name erased from inscriptions. For centuries, it was as if Akhenaten had never ruled Egypt at all. In ancient Rome, the punishment took a similarly brutal form. Roman society was built on legacy. Statues, busts, and public monuments were everywhere. To exist in Rome was to be seen. That's why Emperor Geta's fate was so extreme. After the death of their father, Geta ruled jointly with his brother Caracalla. Their relationship quickly turned violent. Eventually, Caracalla had Geta murdered, allegedly, in their mother's arms. But killing him wasn't enough. Caracalla ordered damnatio memoriae. Geta's face was chiseled out of statues. His name was scratched off inscriptions. Family portraits were altered to remove him entirely. Even official documents were changed, as if he had never been emperor. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Erasing someone from history requires effort, and effort leaves traces. Historians began noticing strange things. Empty spaces where names should be. Damaged faces on statues. Uneven inscriptions. Something or someone was missing. Those absences raised questions. And those questions brought the erased back into history. Ironically, the attempt to destroy these people's legacy ended up preserving it. The very act of erasure became evidence of their existence. Today, we remember Akhenaten, Geta, and others because someone tried to make us forget them. Their punishment failed. What was meant to annihilate memory became a historical fingerprint, a silent confession carved into stone. Sometimes, history doesn't survive despite chaos. Sometimes, it survives because of it.
If you enjoyed this story, just imagine what's coming next. Subscribe so you don't miss anything. And follow me on my other social media links in the description and bio